Right. Looks like we are live. Thanks for joining us, everyone, today. We're here to talk with Nate Linhart, the designer of Tenpenny Parks, which is on Kickstarter right now with a beautiful collector's edition, as well as 2 new expansions, or I suppose sort of 3 new expansions. So without further ado, we'll bring Nate in and let's see if I can add you. Beautiful. Hi, Nate.
Jess. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for joining us today. Ooh, you look like you have some beautiful art in the background.
Yeah, I have this really awesome canvas of Tenpenny Parks behind me, along with some other really cool art. And it's spooky season. Halloween's my favorite holiday of the year, so I got little Halloween decorations up around the house too.
Nice, mine as well. So I'm very glad that we'll get to it soon, but really excited to have these holiday themed expansions to an already fantastic game. So thanks for giving me spooky season theme park. I love it. I've been spending quite a bit of time watching videos of Tivoli Park in Copenhagen. It has a beautiful Halloween design and it's a vintage theme park. So if anyone hasn't taken a look at Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen, their Halloween time extravaganza is almost, you can imagine that you are in Tenpenny Parks during the Winter Lights and Spooky Nights expansion. So highly recommend taking a look at that. But we're not of Tenpenny Parks, again, on Kickstarter right now, which is going extremely well. I think we're at about 75,000, so quite a bit above funded, obviously because it's a great game. So I would love to hear a little bit more about what brought you to making this fantastic game. So where did you first get the idea for this game?
Yeah, I always loved theme parks growing up my whole life. We go to Six Flags, Disney World when I was a kid, Universal Studios. In addition to that, I was a 90s baby and I grew up playing the computer game Roller Coaster Tycoon. I was really into that game as a kid. And I just wanted a tabletop board game of building your own amusement park, kind of inspired by that and all my experiences at theme parks. And that just brought the inspiration. At the time I was working on, the idea of it. There was not many theme park games at the time. This is all the way back in 2016. So I was looking for there to be one, and I decided to try to make one myself.
Awesome. Well, it turns out it worked out really well. And that was, correct me if I'm wrong, your first design?
First game design? This is my first and only design at the moment. So, yeah, really cool to have this be my first game.
Yeah. Well, so tell me about what brought you to, so I imagine you had been playing board games for some time then, if you were already noting that there weren't a lot of theme park games. So what were kind of some of your first formative board games that kind of brought you to thinking, maybe, hey, I want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, the very first game I ever played and really got down the rabbit hole of the board game realm was Catan, all the way back when I was in college in 2011. And my friend invited me over one day, and usually play video games or watch movies or just hang out and do other stuff. And he's like, "Want to play a board game?" I was like, "Board game? All right." He's like, "No, this one's really fun." And so we played Catan, and just like many people, that was my first foray into getting into games. And then from there, I just played other games and really learned to love strategy games, especially, and puzzly type of board games and all that. And so that just became a big side hobby for me. And, the more I played, I was always into creative writing and other kind of creative projects and stuff growing up. I wanted to be either a screenwriter or a filmmaker at one point in my early childhood. So I always had that kind of creative minded aspect. And, instead of turning it into writing, I kind of turned it into game creation.
Well, I'm glad you did, because it's a great game. It's been a family favorite of mine for years. So, so speaking of some of the other games that you played prior, if you were stranded on a desert island, sorry, I've asked all of my interviewees this question. If you're stranded on a desert island, would you have 2 games that you would want to bring with you, one for playing alone and one for if someone else or some other people show up on your island? What would
I'm assuming I can't pick my own game for this, correct?
No Thunderworks games, just so that we can Because otherwise, of course, obviously, all the best games are here under our roof, especially solo games. But yeah, aside from your game, what else would you?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been huge on some of the classics of, um, Puerto Rico and Power Grid. I know those ones, were popular for a very long time, and they're still some of my favorites to this day. And I really like games like Sentinels of the Multiverse, which I actually just played this weekend for the first time in a while. And that one's a good co-op, and that one's a good one you could actually try to play by yourself too from time to time. So those are my some of my favorites. But there's one that people don't know a ton about, and it's very similar to Dominion. It's called Puzzle Strike, specifically Puzzle Strike Third Edition. This came out a long time ago, and then they made kind of like a Puzzle Strike 2 within the last couple of years. It's by Serlin Games, and it is Dominion, but it is kind of like anime character, chibi-ish style artwork, and it is kind of like a puzzle fighter video game where you're sending gems left and right to each other and kind of battling, trying to fill up their gem pile, kind of like like Tetris or Bejeweled style in a way too. It's really, really fun though. It's like Dominion with special powers in anime artwork and stuff like that. So that is one that I've absolutely loved, and it's one of my favorite games all time.
Well, I will have to check that out because you are right. I am unfamiliar with that game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually taking physical note of this.
Yeah, yeah.
Take note. Otherwise,
really
well, I
cool.
guess I can look back at the video later and dig it out.
Yeah.
But thanks for the rec. Appreciate that. Let's see. Speaking of recommendations, how do you feel about the best pizza topping of all time, pineapple?
I think pineapple certainly belongs on a pizza.
Hey, good
Yeah,
people.
especially with ham or bacon or any of that. I am a big proponent of that for sure.
Fantastic. I know these are really hard-hitting questions that I prepared for you.
These are my favorite kind of questions.
Yeah, we're going to go with the between two ferns method next. And I'll just start asking you really uncomfortable questions interspersed with things like, how do you feel about the flavored licorice? This is another divisive topic here at the
I actually like the flavor of licorice. I mean, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but I do enjoy it for sure.
Again, another point for Nate. Just saying.
You ever had the Good and Plenty's candy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite candies. Is like a movie theater snack.
It's been a long time since I've had those, but I like the Wally Wallaby, the bags of licorice. Those are really good.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay, so enough questions about licorice too. Let's go back to your actual design of games. I heard that there is an interesting story about your pitch of this game to Thunderworks Games. But I want to ask first, when you finished up this design, where did you get this in front of Thunderworks Games and other designers? Like, where did you take your design to get it?
Yeah, once I thought I was ready to try and get it published, I was told by multiple people one of the best places to do so would be at a convention. And of course, people are going to be busy at conventions, so try to schedule a meeting as early as possible. So it was at Gen Con, I forget, it was either 2017 or 2018. Gen Con 2018 is where, I just decided to reach out to a bunch of publishers and get a bunch of pitch meetings going, and that's how I met Thunderworks Game there.
Awesome. So there was just like a bunch of designers in the same place that you're just kind of going from person to person at like a speed dating kind of thing, or you had individual appointments set?
No, I had individual appointments set. I just kind of did my own research and looked at companies online that were going to be there that might be open to pitches, and obviously what kind of designs they were looking for, game they've published in the past. And so I was kind of selective on my end too, and picked certain ones I can't remember obviously all of them that I met with or set meetings with, but Thunderworks Games was always one that I was really interested because they were located in Madison, which is only a couple of hours for me because I'm in Chicagoland area. And I knew Role Player was really, really popular at the time. So I was excited to be able to land meeting with them.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a great fit, your design for our studio, because if you haven't noticed, I'm sure you have, but audience listening in, almost every or all Thunderworks games have a certain kind of puzzly element, a certain spatial arrangement element to them. The only one I can think of that doesn't really so much is Cape May, perhaps, but everything has sort of a spatial element to it. And Tenpenny Parks is no stranger to that, partially because of the tile placement, but also kind of the way in which you have to think about those tiles a little bit differently from the way that you usually deal with polyomino tiles, right? So it's a puzzle, and then it's a twist on a puzzle that other people are usually already familiar with. So
Yeah.
which is exactly what Thunderworks is about. We want puzzly, we want spatial, we want a twist. So that's twist. Sorry, was that your idea, the twistable carousel, or was that a later edition?
Well, I had a market wheel. I still have it somewhere here too. It's just a flat concept, and I told people that originally I wanted to make it a bidding game, and that was what this game started off being. It's kind of the core central mechanic, but I ended up changing that down the line and it becoming this kind of market concept of the different types of rides being around this little market that you could spin and manipulate the prices. And the idea of it would be like a little carousel or Ferris wheel or something like that. That could change, the market prices from from round to round with everything. And Thunderworks is the one that envisioned this to be this 3D cool, carousel piece. And I just remember when we were having our first online meeting between me and Keith and everything, him telling me the idea, and I was envisioning that in my head, but it ended up being even cooler than I imagined.
It is a really, really cool piece. I'm so excited to see how it fits in the collector's box with the new little niche spot that it's got for it. It's like a perfect little collection place to keep your carousel in.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's exciting.
Yeah, the inserts for these games that the designer Dan Cunningham is the one who does our box inserts lately, and he's just been knocking it out of the park. Pun absolutely intended. The Citizens of the Spark insert, phenomenal. Stone Spine Architects, phenomenal. This is one of the few things that kind of made me sad about Tenpenny Parks, is that there's so much crammed into that original box that there was literally no room for an excellent insert. And the insert that's going in the collector's edition is phenomenal. Stacking layers, removable trays, a little space just for the carousel, which I usually am packing all the Thunderbox and stuff around it carefully, because you don't have to break it down. It fits in, but it's so cool. I want it well protected. So I'm super stoked to have it.
Well, and this is a side note, but I've met Dan a few times and he's a really great guy. And I can see the puzzliness in his brain stuff from helping develop, Tenpenny at the time. He loves the spatial aspect of things too. So him designing the inserts and figuring all that and everything, it's almost like its own game design.
Right, it tracks
on its own. So yeah.
So speaking of the design again, when you did bring this design to Keith, at what level? Well, first of all, I think I glossed right back over. I heard that there's a cool story about the pitch. How did that go? What was about that?
So when I did meet them at Gen Con, I was cosplaying that day with a few of my friends, and we were all cosplaying as Goofy movie characters. If anyone's familiar with that movie from the 90s, and the first one, and I believe the character's name is Bobby, if I'm correct, and he's got this orange mohawk, and he's got these goofy sunglasses, and he carries a spray can of cheese around with him, white t-shirt. And so I don't know what got it in me, but I decided, hey, I'm already dressed up as this goofy character. I have a serious pitch meeting coming up. I'm just going to wear my cosplay to it. So when I was pitching my game to Keith, he's just looking at me and I'm wearing this, and he's never met me before. And I'm just wearing this, quote unquote goofy cosplay. And thankfully, it ended up working out where he still gave me a chance and wanted to look at my game. And yeah, it did create a memorable experience for him for sure. So yeah,
I think you probably stood out substantially. I mean, let's be real. the design's pretty great. So, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I think what really sold him obviously was my mohawk.
Was the goofy costume. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did he
my
recognize the character or know the movie once you told him?
You know, I do not believe so. Just when I've talked about it, but I'll have to ask him.
Note to myself in my little Thunder notebook here is to ask Keith whether he's seen the Goofy movie, because
you know, I have pictures of that too that we could get up on the internet at some point. So
excellent. Post them in the comments of this video. I would love to see. I would genuinely love to see that.
Yep. We'll do so.
I wore, let's see, I think I wore a Dune t-shirt to an interview at Gen Con. So
nice. Yeah, well, I didn't cosplay this year, I don't think, or did I? No, I did actually. I dressed as Spider-Man. I have this thing from the early 2000s Spider-Man movie of his human spider costume. But my shirt today, even, I don't think.
I didn't. I couldn't see from there.
As well. So, yep, my friend got this for me for Christmas at one point.
It's like we're out. We need to get some new Tenpenny shirts up in here, because I know the only ones we have left. I think we have like one or two of like, at this point, I think they're like only in like extra small or 3XL or something with the sunburst design in Tenpenny, but it doesn't say Tenpenny Parks on this somewhere, so I'm gonna have to get. Note to self: new Tenpenny shirts. We've got it on the back of my shirt, but I won't stand up and take my sweater off. Just my shirt, but it's not that great of a view in the first place. But with the design that you brought to Keith, did you immediately envision Tenpenny Parks as like a modern theme park setting, or more of like the vintage look that it is?
Yeah, I definitely envisioned it more of the modern look when I was making it. And, you know, once again, I had all these ideas in my head what this could look like. But when they got Vincent Dutrait to do the artwork and, you know, his awesome whimsical style, and it became that really vintage kind of fun, vibrant colors and all that's, you know, surpassed my expectations of what I even envisioned in my head. And it really made Tenpenny kind of stand out, especially with the, you know, name Tenpenny. It's kind of a, you know, cute, quirky name as well. All that just packaged together really makes this kind of stand out. And I like the look of it a lot.
Me too. I mean, honestly, Vincent Dutrait can pretty much do no wrong. But what I think one of the reviewers said, you know, this is arguably some of the best output from Vincent Dutrait, which is saying something.
In my opinion, it is, but I'm a little biased. So
yeah, fair. We might be a little bit biased, but it's genuinely lovely and it's engaging, and it has a certain almost comedic je ne sais quoi to it here and there. Like there's just these little notes where when you look at something long enough, you're like, that's
I know silly. I'm still catching some pieces of his artwork and things I've never really noticed before. That's just all these nice little finishing touches.
Yeah, I think in Keith's most recent backer updates, there were some trivia in there about some of Vincent's art that I also did not know, like that on the little Thunderbucks, that there's Keith's autograph and Vincent's autograph. I did not know that.
I found that at one point too. You just keep discovering new things with this game.
Yeah.
So,
but like the concept of, I mean, where do you come up with the idea of catapult fling? It's just a catapult. We're flinging kids,
right? And you know the base game. You know, I was working on it, and you know, I just envisioned that modern design. So when I'm working on the expansions, and you know, we already have that whole theme and you know, Dutrait start artwork down. You know, when I was developing these rides, I was thinking of things more in line with, you know, what Vincent could create and envisioning things in my head, you know, based on those kind of artwork. So when I thought of the catapult fling, I was pretty much exactly kind of the artwork that Vincent ended up creating for it and things like that. So it gave me a little bit more creative juices in my head to create rides based on, you know, what we already had going.
I think you hit the nail on the head with the term whimsy. There's a certain amount of whimsy in there, and it's such a delight to look that over. How many of the rides were designed that you initially designed with the initial prototype stayed in the game? Like, how many of the rides were developed by Thunderworks and how many of them were developed by you or didn't change?
I think a lot of them were mine, but again, the names were changed, but the shapes and the um, the emotions and how much they cost, and a lot of the stuff was pretty much all stayed the same. But I had the modern idea of things, and I might have even used like rides based off real life rides and everything too, basically. So trying to think like the Storm Giant. I think mine was called like Jack the Giant, and we just changed the name to that. But Dragon's Flight is one of my favorite rides in the game because that was a ride name that I thought of from the beginning, and then I love the artwork of that one too, especially. So as a result, that one's got a really special place in my heart.
It is beautiful.
So.
That's the one with the sort of Chinese aesthetic dragon.
Yeah, it's the green dragon going down and everything.
Yeah,
so.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Were some of those rides kind of based on rides that you're familiar with that were favorites of yours personally, or were any of them inspired by?
Yeah, I mean the dragon one, for instance, it made me think of Universal Studios used to have these dueling dragon rides at the time. I don't think they have them anymore, or the theme park kind of changed them to something else possibly. But that was one inspiration for that one as a result. And when I was working on just early prototypes and just thinking of ride names, Raging Bull at Six Flags is one of my favorite rides of all time. So I thought of a ride, like that at one point. That's a really cool roller coaster.
Which one's that? Is that the wooden one?
No, it is. So it's at Six Flags in Gurnee, Illinois, Six Flags Great America. And most people, when they go to that one, they just love this roller coaster. It is a steel coaster. It's got like this orange aesthetic to it, and doesn't have any like loop-de-loops or anything, but it's got like these big, bank curves and all that, and it's very steep drop right at the beginning that really takes your stomach for a ride. So
that sounds bad. I haven't been to a theme park in years, honestly, unless you count Tivoli Gardens, but I didn't actually ride anything there. Just walked through the gardens and it was lovely. But yeah, as I walked through it, I was looking around like, I can't believe I didn't know how much this looked like Tenpenny Parks. I should have brought a box of Tenpenny Parks to just hold up and take pictures, but maybe next year.
Yeah, well.
But so what are some of your absolute, I mean, you mentioned one or two, but some of your favorite theme park rides?
Yeah, I mean, that is probably up there for one of my favorites. I can't remember all the rides at Disney World, but I went there a couple times as a kid, and just that whole experience was really good. And was the Dragster or something like that, where there's like a ride where you're like in a car setting and it just takes you from like 0 to whatever miles per hour really quickly. But at Six Flags Great America and Gurnee, they have, the spinning teacups ride. However, during Fright Fest, it is probably my favorite ride because they decorate it like a spooky disco kind of theme. Like you're at like a spooky disco club and there's music like booming in the background and everything, and there's flashing strobe lights and everything. And that little teacup ride becomes such more of an epic experience somehow with that. So that is one of my favorites.
Ambience makes a huge difference.
It really does.
For games, for rides, for anything. So.
And I just went to Six Flags a few months ago in the summer, and there's one called Sky Striker. I think that's what it's called. And it's one of those pendulum rides. And I don't know if it's my favorite, but that is definitely one of the most terrifying, like exhilarating rides you could ever go on, more so than any roller coaster. So
really,
another one for thrill seekers to try.
Have you done the ones that kind of launch you up and drop you?
Yep.
It's scarier than that.
Oh, it's way scarier than that, honestly. This one, it flips you around, and at one point you're on such a weird like angled degree, and then you're just like looking at the ground in front of you. It is terrifying, but it is a lot of fun as a result, and part of the reason you go on these rides. So
do you like horror movies as well? Are you a Fright Fest kind of guy? Yeah. Favorite scary movie?
I am a huge fan of the Blair Witch Project, the original Blair Witch Project, which is kind of a divisive one. You either love that one or hate it. It is still my go-to favorite horror movie to this day. So
I like me some comedy horror. So yeah, the like the Cabin in the Woods style genre.
Cabin in the Woods is great. I saw that in theater, and that one has not disappointed, obviously. That's one of my favorites as well.
So imagining some of your favorite things, making it into this game, do you have intentions of bringing other games to the table with some more of your favorites?
Yeah, I'm working on a couple designs here and there, and I'm hoping that, this one won't be my one and only baby, and at some point I'll have another, few things out there. But we'll just see what happens. I work a lot for a living, and I, have pretty busy lifestyle at the moment, and so I haven't gotten to a point where I'm ready to pitch anything yet. But there are a couple of designs that I'm like, yes, like I want to get out to the world at some point. One might be spooky themed. We'll see. It's changed themes a couple of times. I might be bringing it back to a spooky theme. And another one is a card-based game, which I don't want to get too into, but it is kind of a card game with a boarded system and everything. And that one I am really excited for in the future.
Well, we hope that we will get a chance to see it someday. Because I mean, you're young, right? Yeah, you've got plenty of years of design.
I keep telling myself that. So
me too. Yeah, I just tell myself,
yeah.
I'm totally young. I am. But you mentioned, what do you do for a day job?
Yeah, so I work as a recruiter. So I work in the northwest suburbs of Illinois area, and I help find people jobs, and I help find these companies good employees. So really love what I do. It's really nice interacting with a lot of people. It feels really rewarding to help people when I can and help these companies find good workers. It's a small little staffing firm out here, so we mostly cover the northwest suburbs. But for that, I was in journalism, and I kind of really just switched careers to recruiting and have enjoyed that career path immensely.
That's fantastic. Well, as a very noble calling, and hopefully it's really rewarding. It sounds like it. And obviously you have good taste and you know talent when you see it. So, and so do we,
Yeah, exactly.
But so I heard you have some plans coming up that are unfortunately going to prevent you from joining us at Gamehole Con. Terrible, terrible plans to have fun vacation. What are you up to?
Yeah, I'm planning to go to Door County with some of my family members. I haven't been in some time, and a lot of my family members still go out there on annual trips, and I used to go all the time as a kid. It is a beautiful place on the peninsula area of Wisconsin. Just lots of hiking, lots of bike rides, delicious ice cream out there, and food and breakfast foods. Really, really beautiful setting. And then maybe possibly like when I return to, I might be going to Six Flags Great America and go to the Fright Fest there in Gurnee as well. So
nice. Yeah. I mean, how far away is it from home to Six Flags for you? It's like not far, right?
Oh, no, it's only like a 45-minute drive. So really close.
And half of that's traffic, I'm sure, as you get closer.
Yeah, exactly. So it's nice having that close. But I don't take advantage of it as much as I should. So I'm trying to take advantage of it a little bit more this year.
Fair. I mean, it's not like it's free 50 though. Like going to theme parks tends not to be like the cheapest thing you've ever done.
Exactly. But they had a really good deal at the start of the season. So I took advantage of that. I just got to make sure I attend more to, get my money's worth.
Mm-hmm. I'm so bad about stuff like that. I remember one year I got a membership to the Shed Aquarium with all the intention of like, I'm so close. I could just be popping down, on any given weekend. Did I do that every weekend and make use of it?
I know, right?
It's right there. But
speaking of aquariums, that's something I really want to visit again. So I was actually thinking about doing that this summer, never got to, but that's been something I've been craving.
Yeah, it's so good. Man, usually we would be at PAX Unplugged, which we are not doing this year because we're pretty much sold out of all of our new releases. But there's a really
That's
great
good.
aquarium over there. Yeah, I mean, good problems, right? But
Yeah.
now we have to watch for tariffs on those reprints and see what happens. Sorry, shouldn't bring it up. But we'll get through it. But yeah, I can't wait to see what else we have coming up from you. I'm really hoping that we'll see you at one of our other upcoming shows. Unfortunately, since we won't be able to have you at Gamehole this week, I was about to say next week. That's this week already, because you're just going to be driving right past us. Nonstop. No, it's fine. I actually I got Nate to sign a couple of rule books so that folks who are joining us at Gamehole Con, if you're picking up a copy of Tenpenny Parks while supplies last, we have some signed rule books from Nate that we can provide. So
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I know we're pretty much running up on time. I'm unable to see at the moment how many live folks we've got in here, but I think I've got chat working. If anybody has any questions while we're writing down here, feel free to put them in chat and we'll see what Nate has to say about you. Let's see. Anything else in the meantime that you think was kind of an interesting factoid about the development of Tenpenny Parks, or things you're really excited for with these expansions that people might not know about yet?
Yeah, I mean, for innovation, it's, the bigger expansion box. I think that adds a lot to the game. It gives a lot more replayability factor by adding more rides. It gives a little track at the bottom that will really enhance, I feel, the strategy and experience of the game, make the game slightly more complex while at the same time keeping it around the same game length. And just adding more decision space and everything. I think really people will enjoy that, and having the abilities to really make their park stand out even more to the players to their left and right at the table. And then the two holiday, mini expansions that are combined. First off, I think that's such a genius name that got created by Winter Lights and Spooky Nights. It's
It is fun.
well, follows that whimsical, vibe as well. And that piece of artwork by Dutrait of that box cover with the ghost of Santa and everything. When
Yep.
I saw the first images of that a while ago, I just fell in love immediately. But
Those caribou with their tongues hanging out like their dogs going for a run.
I love that piece so much. And I just think those will give you fun little mini experiences during holidays when you want to be in the, either the Christmas spirits or in spooky season, and just add those little flavorful things as well with, more really cool artwork. And I think those just add a little twist to the game. And it's nice that you could package everything together too into one big grand experience if you want. And if you really want to turn, Tenpenny's, decision making and strategy into much greater experience, that's what all these are for.
Yeah, we recently played it here at Thunderworks with everything all together, and it was such a blast. There's so much I like a crunchy game, and Tenpenny
makes it crunchier. Yes.
Yeah, it makes it crunchier, and I really enjoyed that, and kind of balancing, the cheer track with the research track with the Halloween marketing ghosts with their little ghost butts. It's
they're so cute. I mean, just alone the component quality, as we know from the base set of Tenpenny, just amazing components. The carousel, the thick cardboard, the thunderbox, the little trees. But adding in these little Christmas tree meeples, those are my absolute favorite things. And of course, these little adorable ghosts are so cool to look at. Really just continues to add to the table presence of this game.
Yeah, I think people are going to be really, really excited to see how cool they are in person when you actually have them and you're playing them and placing them. It's something that very tactile experience that Tenpenny has always brought to the table is just amplified even more with these expansions. We're so excited to see people get these into action on their table.
I know. I'm waiting. I'm excited too. So
yeah, it really is.
Be patient.
It's a thing of beauty and also of really intelligent design. So we're very, very pleased that we were able to snap it up first before any of those other yucks. Or maybe it was intentional sabotage. We're like, look at that goofy guy over there in his costume. Don't find that.
Well, I once again, I'm very gracious that I got able to partner with Thunderworks on this, and they're the ones to be able to put this to life, because everything has just been an amazing experience as a result, and beyond my dreams. So
Well, fantastic. We're very proud to be a small part of your dream making, and ditto. I mean, you make this possible for us, so we really appreciate it. And you've been fantastic to work with, great to chat with, fun to play games with. I know we just had you up here not too long ago. I'm writing you about not showing up for Gamehole Con. Meanwhile, you drove all the way up to do a game store demo with us here in town recently. So thank you again.
that was a good time for sure. So
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've done one. So
yeah. Hey, Gemini Games down in Stoughton, Wisconsin. Lovely shop. Just
great game store. I love that place. That was
Yeah.
such a cute little place. I wish I lived closer to it.
It's a really nice shop. It's fantastic. Right. Well, I know you have to get back to your day job today, so I guess we answered everybody's questions because there weren't any. So
Got it.
we're just too thorough, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess there's one last one before I send you off. Since we
Uh-oh.
were asking about the the candies and stuff, candy corn, the devil or not?
No, I like candy corn, I guess.
Strike one for me. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm honestly kind of debating how much I could go for a candy corn right now. And kind of the answer is no, but I feel like it wouldn't be the worst thing.
So. When it's presented to me and put in my hand, I'm like, oh, all right, but I definitely wouldn't seek it out.
It's so cute looking, though. So
it is. It's really. I really like the new concession
stand. Me on it. So yeah. Good question.
Well, and on that hard-hitting note, thanks again for joining me today, Nate. I really appreciate it. And everyone, please do check out Tenpenny Parks Expansions and Collector's Edition on Kickstarter. It is live for approximately one more week. It is fully funded. It is doing really well. It's a project we love, not just us personally, but it's also a project we love on Kickstarter. So do be sure to check that out.
It's really good prices right now, too.
Yeah, it's a crazy good price right now.
Yeah, highly recommend based on that alone.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I mean, and the backer price now during the live campaign is the best backer price. Prices will go up during the late pledge, and then at release, of course, there's going to be MSRP. So do watch out for it. Highly recommend getting your hands on Tenpenny Parks and trying out these expansions. So do check out that Kickstarter. And thank you again, Nate, for joining and taking the time out of your day to chat with us.
Really appreciate you, Jess. Thank you very much for having me.
You bet. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.